Welcome to the Black Mirror Podcast.
Join host Ho-Ho as he discusses the riveting Netflix original series,
Black Mirror. Now, here he is, Ho-Ho-Ho.
From the Cottage Studio, welcome to Black Mirror Podcast, and as always, I'm Ho-Ho. How y'all's doing? I hope you're doing good. I really do. So we are revisiting the second episode of Series 2 entitled White Bear. Now, just like last time, I rewatched the episode because I didn't have total recall on this one. You know, I need a little refresher on it. But also, just like last time, I did not listen to the episode that I did with the same title. I didn't want one to influence the other. I wanted to come at this with as much fresh eyes as I could. Even though I remembered a lot about this one, there was still some things that I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that type of a thing, you know, and I'm sure you can understand that one as well. And even though, just like always, I feel it necessary to say, spoiler alert, we're not exactly going to be talking directly about the episode. Instead, I want to talk about something else. Criminal justice. You know, because that's really what this episode is about, the criminal justice system. Now, here's the thing. Okay, I am a huge proponent of punishment fit the crime. You know, I really am, you know. And in some countries, you know, I don't remember if it's Japan or whether it's China, but you know, they don't, you know, the criminals over there don't do crimes expecting to get off or to get away with it. You know, they commit the crime fully expecting to get caught. You know, and that's one of the things that we really need to up our game with here in the States is, you know, using the technology that we have, whether it be in DNA, fingerprinting, you know, just what have you, really utilize those in a way that, you know, one, we're not sending innocent people away to prison, and we're not letting free people whom are guilty. But again, punishment fit the crime. That if you did a crime that was so horrific, so, you know, bad, so violent, that your prison life should be a deterrent. You know, it shouldn't be a country club type of a visit. It should be a deterrent. You know, you shouldn't want to go there. You know, and that by itself should be an aspect that would make you want to not do crime. That would be a big help, you know. And I really wish that I could say that, you know, no innocent people have gone to prison and no guilty people have gone free and the punishment always fits the crime. I really wish I can say that, but unfortunately we all know that that's just really not the case. You know, there's been high profile court cases where the guilty party definitely got off. And we hear all too often that, you know, innocent people has gone to prison. And, you know, what's amazing is, you know, once somebody has been found guilty for one thing or another, or at least, you know, for one reason or another, especially whenever, you know, it's people that can't afford a high dollar attorney, because, I mean, let's face it, you know, sometimes it's not about whether you did it or whether you didn't. It's about how expensive of a lawyer can you afford. But, you know, once somebody is found guilty, sometimes it's really, really hard, even with the right evidence coming into play, you know, like DNA evidence that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that not only is there reasonable doubt, but he didn't do it. And yet still, it's almost impossible to get that retrial and to get them out of prison. Sometimes that's impossible. And you know, and that's another aspect of we need to do better. We really need to have justice reform in this nation. We really do. But that aside, let's go a little bit into the episode at hand. Now, this is not the first time where somebody's punishment has been put on full display for the amusement of others. You know, we've seen such a thing in Death Race. We've seen this in a variety of other movies that has been done. But this is the first time where I've seen it being done in this way. Now, for me, this episode really brought about more of an ethical question, though. You know, because if you are... We got to get into it a little bit. Because what they do, you know, and it's like the very end of this episode, or at least, you know, the last, 10 minutes maybe, that you really find out what's going on. And basically what you find out was, she was guilty of a bad crime. You know, she filmed the murder of a young child. You don't exactly know how much she participated in it, but what you do know is she was the camera operator. She pointed the camera and she recorded her husband, her boyfriend, I'm not even sure who that was, that actually committed the crime. We don't know how much she participated in it, how much she had to do with the kidnapping or anything else, but we do know that she was there. And what they end up doing to her is wiping her memory and then putting her in this game, if you will. And it's a game that is very much intended to and designed to just scare the ever-loving crap out of her. I mean, that's basically, in essence, what they're doing. Scaring the crap out of her, making her go through all this crap and thinking that her life is completely in jeopardy, the whole 9 yards. And throughout the episode, she's kind of getting a few flashbacks, but I mean, it's not really, she doesn't know what's going on. Again, because her memory has virtually been wiped clean. Now, here's where my ethical dilemma comes into place. They're wiping her memory clean, completely. She doesn't even know who she is. She doesn't know what happened. She doesn't know what she did. She thinks that the little girl that she sees the picture of in her home is her daughter. It's not. It was the person that, they kidnapped and her husband, boyfriend, whatever it was, killed. And she filmed the whole thing. But you don't know that. You don't find that out until basically the end of it. So like I was saying, my ethical question. When you completely wipe somebody's memory, in essence, that person that they were no longer exists. They're not there anymore. Now we're not talking about somebody whom, gets done doing a horrendous crime and is fleeing the police, gets into an accident, bad head injury, and now we're just waiting for them to get their memory back. And then we can prosecute. We're not even talking about that. They are wiping her memory on purpose for sheer entertainment, to make a spectacle and torturing her. I mean, that's in essence what they're doing, isn't it? And I put aside the whole aspect of the crime that she committed, because like I said, this is no longer the same person. They've wiped her memory. They've taken away her identity. She no longer is the same person. She no longer is the person that committed this crime, that participated in this crime, that stood by and filming this crime taking place. She's no longer that person. The person that is there now is a completely innocent individual. I mean, this is almost like, cloning somebody, Hitler, and then trying to hold him accountable for the crimes against, during the Holocaust. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's a little different, obviously, but it's kind of the same thing because yes, the body may have participated, but the mind that's left over after you've wiped her memory is not the same person, An ethical dilemma is what this kind of gave me. Now, I mean, granted, I had no issues with like the movie Death Race, because that was the same person, the same people. Yes, it was being done for sport. Yes, they were making all kinds of money off of this death race. I don't really have an issue with that. Yeah, this goes well beyond the whole aspect of cruel and unusual punishment. I get it. But even still, I mean, there's got to be that part of it that's like, yeah. And there's that part of me whenever I watch this episode that, yeah, she deserved that. But it was like, they wiped her memory. It's not the same person anymore. I mean, for me, it really is an ethical dilemma because it's like, how do you do that to somebody? And because basically is what they're doing is torturing her. How do you feel good about yourself? Now, if what they did instead was, if they didn't wipe her memory completely clean, if they would have left intact, kind of like what they do in the movie Payday, Ben Affleck movie, great Ben Affleck movie. If they did something like that to where she remembers who she is, she remembers what she did, but she just doesn't remember getting caught, going through the trial, any of that kind of stuff. If that was the case, then, I would be behind what they're doing 110%. I'm participating. I'm spending the money. I'm going to be one of the people holding the camera that's making her think she's going crazy. I want to be one of the people participating in the thing. I want to be the guy, the ringleader that's running the whole thing. I want to be that guy. If they did it right, you betcha. Because it's a fitting punishment for what she did. Albeit extreme, but it's a fitting punishment, is it not? So what do you think about this episode? Do you think they kind of went overboard in the punishment, or do you think that punishment completely fit the crime? Do you think maybe they shouldn't have been wiping her memory? Do you understand where I'm coming from as far as it's a different person now that you wipe the memory completely clean? Do you think that what they did was more of a torture kind of a thing and less rehabilitation? Because they're doing it not for the sake of rehabilitation and not even so much for punishment. It's for entertainment. Do you see that, or do you think I'm completely off my rocker? Let me know down in the comments if you are listening over on Spreaker, or if you are on Locals, or over on the YouTubes. If you are listening on one of the other myriads of platforms that Black Mirror Podcast can be found, the best way you can do this would be to head over to thehohoshow.com, leave a comment down in the contact me section, or of course you can email me, hoho@thehohoshow.com, and let me know there, because I am curious as to what you think about this episode, what you think about the criminal justice system. Please let me know. Participate. It would be amazing. Now, next episode, we are going to be covering the special that came after Series 2 entitled White Christmas. This, again, was an excellent episode, and I am so looking forward to revisiting that one. And in Season 3, I don't even know what episode I am looking at doing right now. I mean, there's a couple of them that I was tossing back and forth on what I was going to be doing, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure. There's quite a few different ones in this one that were really, really phenomenal. Really phenomenal. What episode was season 3? Okay, I'm kind of looking through my notes here because I think I marked in here which ones what I was intending on doing. And oh yeah, that was one. Oh yeah, that was, oh man. Yeah, there's more than one in here that I'm actually looking at. Now I don't know which one I'm going to end up doing. I don't know if I'm going to just narrow it down to one or if I'm going to do two. You know, because there's definitely more than one that are really, really excellent and I want to touch base on. So we will get into that next time. I might come up with an answer for you whenever I actually do White Christmas. Yeah, White Christmas. But until then, y'all have yourself a great one, and I will see you in the next one. Till next time. Thank you for listening to the Black Mirror Podcast. If you would like to join the conversation, you can comment on this episode at Spreaker.com or go to thehohoshow.com/forum in the discussion board for this season.